So joining me here on stage then, if we go left to right, we've got Dr. Marco Brueckner, the head of Supervision section at EIT, who will be giving us a little brief framing at the beginning to start the session off. Then we have Pilventö, the CEO of Tapojärvi, who's going to be presenting a case study for us with a few questions from me as well. Followed then by Nello Pira, the Global Chief Materials for Electrification at Stellantis, who will also be sharing with us a case study and a few questions from me. And then Ángeles Romo, the Director of Corporate Ventures at SQM, will also be sharing the third of the three short case studies for us with a couple of follow-up questions from me. And last but by no means least, we've got an EIT top and tail to our panel here in a way. This time from EIT RawMaterials, it's Jan Eggert, the head of education from EIT RawMaterials. So let's get straight down to business then. I'll go straight to you, Marco, for this framing I mentioned. Well, the lead question from me, because I want the optic of how companies and industry, from your perspective, from the EIT perspective, are dealing with innovation challenges.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon. First I have to say it's really a great event, and so far I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot about the challenges in the field of raw materials, and so I'm really curious to, in a few minutes, to learn about the possible solutions as well. Mm-hmm. And that brings us to what you just asked a bit, to frame how we can get to such solutions and innovations for industry and raw materials. And from the side of the EIT, I think is just to mention or just to point that we provide a framework for knowledge and innovation communities like EIT RawMaterials to enable them to build unique European-centered innovation ecosystems. And with these frameworks that are linked to societal challenges like raw materials, you have several opportunities and a variety of possibilities. And therefore, all three KICs, as is built on the concept of the knowledge triangle integration, they have portfolio of activities, broadly speaking, three pathways or three portfolio areas of activities, which is innovation as innovation-driven research, so with a focus to bring new products, to bring new services to the market. Second, the support and acceleration of startups and scale-ups. And I've just checked the latest data that we have is that EIT in total supported more than 5,500 startups and scale-ups so far with a combined value of more than 71 billion euro. So, and the third one is entrepreneurial education. And here, I think it was already addressed. There was a session before the lunch break, and one of the big challenges is the skills gap. And just yesterday, when we were in the coffee area, I talked to a colleague from RawMaterials, and I was told there is a company she just talked to, and they have more than 600 vacant positions, and they are not able to fill with suitable candidates. So I would say that we at the EIT, we're looking forward to new possibilities. So we learned about, so we know that there's an upcoming launch of academies like the European Raw Materials Academy, which is built on the example of the European Battery Alliance Academy, but there will also be the Solar Academy quite soon and the Advanced Materials Academy as well. So I think that can pave a way forward in the area of education activities for the KICs to come to some innovations. And in sum, I think that one point I would like to add is that at the EIT, maybe we're sometimes not really known for not being a little bit complex and hard to understand from time to time. But the final thing I want to tell is that this certain amount of complexity and comes with a result that you have a variety of opportunities that can be steered by the KICs and by raw materials as an example. So I'm now really looking forward to hear from these examples, possible solutions and innovations.
Thanks very much, Marco. Myself too. Well, with that in mind then, let's get straight on to actually hearing these case studies. So we've got 1, 2, 3 case studies that will be shared with you as an audience. The first one, Mary, from you, is about the Open Innovation Challenge, the OIC, with young talent. So can you talk us through that one?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Well, first I need to tell something about the company also.
Of course.
I hope you should soon see some information about the company behind me. The philosophy on industrial circular economy that we have, our numbers, and some stats about the latest innovation challenge that we had. The idea of the challenge is for student groups to present their innovative ideas on given topics. And they receive support from our R&D team. We have around maybe 12 people working on R&D and I, and this group helps the students already on the brainstorming phase. And the best ideas make it to the final live show in Tornio, Finland, where a panel of judges evaluates the ideas, and online and on-set spectators get to vote for the best idea to win 10,000 euros. And next year, Tapojärvi will turn 70 years old, and to celebrate that, we will organize the 4th of these Tapojärvi Innovation Challenges. We see ourselves as pioneers in many ways. Tapojärvi is a family company that we didn't have the luxury of being nonchalant about our effectiveness or efficiency or surrounding environment nor the nature. And we have always worked to do things better and to be better in general. The owners of the company are fearless innovators, and they have always questioned the old habits and fought for the ideas that they see as improvements. And this mentality is still very present in everything we do. And when you think about the masses in mining and steel industries where we work, they are huge. We talk about millions of tons of materials that are landfilled in worst case. And I think that if we can find a usage for one single byproduct or one side stream that doesn't end up useless in a landfill, we can congratulate ourselves. And we have actually done that. Only last year, we processed 46 million tons of different materials. And I think that has an impact on our environment. So how did we end up organizing this challenge for the students? Tapojärvi Innovation Challenge is one way of broadening the perspective of industrial circular economy. And to be able to bring students in this scene has been marvelous. Each time we have been able to guide them and challenge them more, and the results keep getting better and better. It is great to show the students how the industry works in practice, how important open-mindedness is, and how an idea that initially seems crazy can become a nature-saving business opportunity. And in my opinion, the results have been quite good. We have employed few finalists in the previous years, and this last year's fantastic winning team, Team React, is working on a pre-feasibility study under the weekly guidance of our RD&I manager, and I hope that maybe we can someday present this idea as a potential investment idea to our board of directors. It is important to get the new generation excited about the possibilities of their own actions and choices in a bigger scale. A few decades ago, young people in general felt alienated from the nature, at least in Finland. And I guess something similar is happening at the moment with today's young, sustainably aware people and the industries in general. And in my opinion, Tapojärvi Innovation Challenge is one way to bring back young people to see that the industrial circular economy is actually the umbrella where the impacts are tremendous. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Can we give that a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please? I think it's great to see case studies like this being put forward. I've got 2 quick follow-up questions for you. I'm interested to know, and thanks for the very clear presentation, but What was the impact of this Open Innovation Challenge you did on your company's R&D team and strategy? Did it have any implications for you?
Yeah, it is. We usually give them the topics, what we think that this is something that we haven't come up anything yet, so let's see if these young people can come up with something. Yeah. And the ideas they have are pretty wild sometimes, and usually in the beginning they lack the potential in the real markets. But when we try to guide them a little bit, they are quite nice. So it's very good. I think that our RD&I team is very outside of the box already, but the students get them even further away from it. So that's nice.
In that case, then a real catalyst in a way that actually drives your own effectiveness in R&D and strategy. Yeah. And following on from this Open Innovation Challenge, how is this innovation now progressing then? What are the next steps and what are the learnings from it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's, the learning is happening all the time. And I think if you would ask that in 10 years, I would be able to give you a good result. But I think we're in the middle of the storm at the moment, so it's really hard to see. But I see that everything where we see something that we need to fix to be better, it's working every time. So it's going forward. But ask that again later.
I'll come back in a couple of summits' time, and I'll ask you that again, okay? Good. All right, wonderful. Let's move on then, Nello, to you. And here we'll focus on the PhD summer school, the Elmo Leon summer school that you've been connected with there. Could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yes, before to go in detail in the project, in the Elmo Leon project, so I'd like to introduce why we are quite active in this kind of action, because the challenges are many. So we have many challenging today in the market, challenging related to the sustainability, challenging related to the new vehicle, new battery electrical vehicle, and so we as company we have to answer to this question. We have to overcome obviously the challenging, and basically how we can answer. We have two different approaches. One is the approach to increase the agreement in the value chain. I already explained this morning about the deal, about the strategies of Stellantis in order to have a collaboration all over the value chain. So not only with our tier one, but also with raw material supplier. This is obviously to assure the best price, the cost of final components, but also to assure the sustainability and so on, because we want to push also the value chain to the sustainability target. But at the same time, we have to increase technically internally, because when we start to discuss with raw material producer, obviously we have to change our approach. We have to change our approach that is a conservative automotive approach. So we are changing a little bit. We are in a transformation period, we know, because we can touch with our hands. And so we started to also to invest, not only invest in company, not only invest in financial action, but also invest in technical excellence. Invest in technical excellence for big company like Stellantis, that is basically a automotive maker. And so our standard profile is mechanical engineering. Now we have to change. We have to move to different competences, to different skills, like electrochemistry, like physics, like chemistry. And so we started to have an internal program of upskill of our employee in order to achieve this target, in order to be prepared, in order to be able to discuss at the same level with the supplier that are basically new supplier. And at the same time, we started to be part of European action, like Elmo Leon, exactly, in which we have some PhD, so we can finance by ourselves, or we can also be part of the program of European Commission in order to grow the PhD, in order to grow exactly the high-level academic profile and address directly to the needs of our company. Because, as I told you, the market, the automotive market now is changing, is in transformation, and we have also to transform also our future employee, our future colleague that are today not so ready. So we want to start from the academic profile with collaboration with university and with collaboration in order to grow up the student and the PhD with, in our direction, with our vision. And Elmo Lion is one of the example. Elmo Lion is a project in which we shared the information with a specific target on lithium-ion batteries, especially on new salt, synthesis of new salt, so new cathode material, in order to avoid cobalt, or in order to have increase the efficiency. New methodologies are fundamental because we don't have today any standard. There is a dramatic request of standard for the material and the performance of the cell. And the last point is the modeling, because if we have a modeling of new salt, of new material, we can anticipate maybe the problem. So this is one of the involvement that we have, and this is help us exactly to grow up the student, PhD in this case, in order to acquire, let me say, for the new colleague.
Thanks very much. Could we give that a quick round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks. And question for you then, Nello. How specifically and how exactly do you bring the PhD students into the innovation process? We heard previously from Mari about how they use that as almost a catalyst in a way. How do you do it?
Generally, we have so we join. We love. So we like to join in European action, and so we have a really strong European network in academic. And generally, we propose to the professor, to the academic institute, if we can share some studies, some R&D action. So sharing these R&D actions, so basically we put on the desk our needs. Yeah. And the institution, the academic university can give the student. This means that in these 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, in which the student work with us can grow up in academic profile, but at the same time we started to discuss with us, we started to know global worldwide company. And so this means that it is ready to introduce in the company. Only in my team, I have 15 students, 11 PhD, and 4 graduation students here in Italy and in France, and 1 in Germany. So this means that we believe that the young people will be our future, obviously, because they are also some active, proactive, and so they obviously they can bring in the team also the novelty that we need.
Okay, very clear, and thank you. So Ángeles, we'll come on to you now then, and you're going to tell us, obviously you'll give a little introduction to your organization as well, about the Lithium Acceleration Program.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation to this panel. I feel very honored to be here and to share with you some thoughts about how the demand for raw materials finally finds a solution in innovation, technology, entrepreneurship, venture capital, and why not corporate venture capital. As you probably know, SQM is a global chemical and technical company for working toward global sustainability based in Chile, but with a global operation. Our products are essential for health, nutrition, renewable energy, and technological development industries. We are committed to contribute to the greener future through all of our products. Obviously, our main product is the lithium, an elemental product for the use of next-generation batteries and essential for transitions toward electromobility. So we have the challenge of decarbonization and energy transition and a strong commitment to local action. So for us, a responsible business is one that is designed considering the sustainability as a fundamental element. So our business strategy is based on 3 pillar models. So the first one is innovation, research and development to create new products, sustainable products. We have more than 200 researchers working in Chile and the company, integration with Chilean and global innovation centers, and also agreements with universities around the world. We have high-quality production, refining battery-grade lithium hydroxide from Chile, and we have agreements with the largest batteries producers as LG and Ford. The most important is, since 2018, the production has tripled, becoming more sustainable. The second pillar is sustainability. We produce one of the cleanest lithium in the world, and our goal is carbon neutrality and zero water footprint. We seek to reduce brine extraction by 50% by 2030, and also to reduce the water consumption at the same year. The third pillar is the relationship with the public. So the public and private alliance, more than 25 years working together with the government of Chile with a territorial focus. We try to contribute to the local communities in every simple sense and the contribution to R&D. Always our main concern is improving the quality of life. So, do you think all of this is already enough? Probably no. With the speed of change in a very demanding context, the environment changes us. So it's absolutely necessary to ask ourselves every single day how we can increase production using fewer natural resources. What is the answer? The answer is to think big. The innovation is the answer. For us, the innovation is created unique solution for human development, which allow us to create value in a sustainable way. Create value, but also capture value, and the ability to develop a new industry for all of us. But that is not possible to do it alone. We need the collaboration of a complete ecosystem where the entrepreneurs and the startups are the fundamental piece. So, in December 2022, we launched SQM Lithium Ventures, which is the corporate venture capital for SQM in the lithium business. The fund invests an average tickets for $3 million in Series A, plus follow-on, and also we operate an acceleration program in Series C from or based in Chile. We seek to invest in growing companies across the globe, solving challenges related to 3 verticals. First one, lithium, technologies to improve the process related to lithium production, but also recycling, water, technologies to promote efficient water consumption, reduce loss and evaporation, and electromobility, any initiative to generate value in the electromobility space. So the fund has a global presence with team members in Latin America, in Chile, obviously, and also in US, in North America, but also in Europe, Asia, and Australia. In just a year and a half, more or less, we have some quick wins, and I would like to share with you some of those. As part of the Series C, the acceleration program, we have support companies from German, Celeb, which is a startup developing a proprietary end-to-end battery recycling process to allow us to recover all the valuable metals. Aitings, another one, is a Swiss company providing a manufacturing solutions for solid-state batteries, and Evolve, a company based on UK, focused on DLE solutions. And from the Series A, we have invested already in 4 companies, one from Chile, the last one, but also, Mover is the name, but also Altilium Clean Technology is a company in UK based, and also Salinity Solutions in the vertical of water from UK as well, and Electrification, a company from United States. So finally, why I think this is relevant, why I think it's important for all of us to be here, in particular for SQM, because the EIT Raw Materials Summit is a call to action. You told us that yesterday. And basically, SQM Lithium Venture is an action to face the windows opportunity and to build the businesses of the future that allows unlocking sustainable raw material sources to drive electrification forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Could we? Thank you very much. I've heard you mention, obviously there, of course, Chile is a Chile-based company with a global footprint. I've heard you mention there the UK, my country, no longer part technically of Europe, in spirit sometimes still. I've heard you mention the US. How important is Europe as an innovation hub for SQM Lithium Ventures?
It's a wonderful question, because you say, well, you're so far away from here. But no, in the global way that we used to communicate today, we need the Europe experience, and we learn a lot of what you have here in terms of innovation and also entrepreneurship. The relationship that you have in between universities, government, corporate, and all the ecosystem that we call is amazing. And we want to bring that talent to South America, to Chile, and to create all together new companies with the support of this big company, but also with the talent that you have here in Europe, and all the networks and all the intelligence that probably you already have here. So it's quite a good collaboration. It's to share experience, and it is to share also the view, the big view, to create a new industry, a new world, if you want, altogether. So bring talent from Chile, big company, operations, the salar over there, but also to bring the technology, the innovation, and the networks that you have here. So altogether, I guess we can build something bigger.
Okay, very, very clear. Marco, I'm going to come super quickly back to you, just for a reflection. You mentioned that you were really interested to hear about these examples, and you wanted to learn a little bit. What's a super quick reflection from you on what you've just heard from these three?
Yeah, it's like always, I'm impressed. Yeah. And I'm impressed by the variety, I'm impressed by the depth of the activities and by the significance of the activities and their impact. So for me, it's always good to learn, because over the course of the, if I may say this, over the course of the conference, now I reflected a bit and I thought, if I would be young again, I would want to work in this area, raw materials. So this is what is usually what is the result it has on me. Okay, unfortunately, I became an EU bureaucrat, so it's a lost case.
There we go, lost talent, ladies and gentlemen, lost talent. Okay, and I'm going to bring that EIT optic over to EIT Raw Materials now with you, Jan. So we've heard these, and we've heard how impressive they are. I think we can all agree that there's some really impressive things here. But I want to look at this in a slightly wider optic that you can bring. My question really is almost a little bit of a mean one in a way, but how representative and scalable are these initiatives? Because clearly I think in any area when we're looking to innovate, we can always pick some great examples, but I want to really understand how representative are these and how scalable are these in the wider sense from your perspective?
No, these three cases are great examples, because they really bring forward what we believe at EIT Raw Materials is about connecting innovation, technology, and education. Yeah. And that's the driving part. And I think we already agreed earlier in this room that we have this huge talent gap, that we need to look at human capital, that we have the skills, the needed highly skilled talent in those industry partners that we need to refer to. And I think we need to disrupt. So we need to really work together on disrupting the approach towards education, towards placing talent as well. And we have to acknowledge that human capital is actually the most critical raw material, I think. That's something that is really crucial to the discussion. And we play an important role in this. So EIT Raw Materials brings specialized education offerings And we do this by constantly refining the existing portfolio, so the learning portfolio that we have introduced and worked on for a long time, which is on secondary education, and we have the flagship event also presented outside on Girls Go Circular, so secondary education. Higher education, the EIT-labeled master program was mentioned. PhD education, where we support PhD students to get access to industry. And then also the lifelong learning aspect, the professional education, which is really a focus at the moment. So we do this the entire life cycle of the learner, but we also do this along the entire value chain. So this is starting from exploration mining, it's the substitution, it's the recycling, and it's of course then also on the circular economy. And we do this for the entire workforce. So we're not only looking at engineers, we look at operators, technicians, and executives. So looking at procurement, other organization parts would need to have knowledge of the complexity of raw materials. And the second way is what we do now, and this is actually the examples here, is to have more the perspective on the innovation, so more innovative tools, products, and programs. And the Open Innovation Challenge is one. Open innovation per se is something that we support at EIT RawMaterials in many ways. So we heard the 3 parts. So it can come in terms of commercial solution providers, where companies team up with other companies to innovate, to openly innovate. With startups, so we can bring this to the table. We heard from Ángeles about corporate acceleration and VCs. We have the strategic partnerships between universities and industry, so in terms of PhD programs. And we have the students, and that's something that really is some of those we talked earlier about. How can we innovatively develop these programs? Immersive experience for those students, so they come to industry partners. They get to know about not only the technical aspects, but it's about transversal skills. So they learn how to lead a project, they team up, they do critical thinking in those challenges they have in front, given by companies like Tapojärvi. They also learn about problem solving. It's about how to commercialize, actually. So building their business acumen is also something that they do. So you have some real time influence for those students right at those open innovation challenges. And that's what we want to push forward and support. And that's also then coming back to the academy funding, which is the academy will focus on these. So again, always also working on education services and programs, but having those, and the Open Innovation Challenge is only one example. We have many more that we are building and trying to develop to bring to the table. So this is
a very positive picture. Let me just very briefly, just keeping on time as well, we'll wrap up in a couple of minutes, but let me play devil's advocate for a moment. And we've talked here about a very positive story, and yep, so for you it's representative, it's scalable, there are a lot of initiatives there to help make it that. But are there any particular barriers that you do see on the future horizon, and what are we doing about those?
So exactly to get this talent side matched with the industry side, and that's really the crucial aspect of it. So when we look at how can we then not only train talent and provide them with the needed trainings, programs, but then place them, so get them close to the industry. And that's part of the academy that we will build and work more on, which is a platform, a one-stop shop actually for industry partners, for industry companies, not only in our sector, but elsewhere, automotive, energy, where they can then go to and see what is available on the talent side, and then bring them together with those. So it's about this matching, sophisticated matching, working on a platform, digital, online, so one-stop shop going, and you get all of this combined, not only in terms of learning programs and doing those trainings, but then having access to the industry. And it's about the next generation that we need to, and we had this discussion earlier already, to support really from our side this development in those academies, that we need to go out, that we need to reach students and anyone who wants to join the sector, the subjects that we are talking about, engineering and many more, and we look more onto the sustainability, on the ESG components of this, SLO and technology, of course, the technology advancement that we can bring from the European side.
Okay, I'm looking at my watch now. It's time for the break now. I'm going to allocate a very generous 60 seconds to you, Jan. and I'm going to ask you in those very generous 56 seconds, 52, that I'd like you to give us, in a couple of lines, 1 or 2 sentences, your call to action to this room on behalf of EIT RawMaterials.
Let me refer to Anna Michelle from yesterday from the opening panel. So she had the CRMA for ambassadors. So I ask you to be an ambassador. You are in the industry. You are part of this. We are all part of the same aspect, to reach out to anyone, to present, to be those ambassadors talking about the industry with all of those examples that it's attractive. It's about sustainability. Again, it's there's innovation in mining. There's so much great things out there, and all of us need to be an active and play an active role. So that's what I'm asking you, and also interact outside with the students, because they have the fresh minds they brought to Tapojärvi, for example, on their Open Innovation Challenge to solve and put them.
Okay.
Put forward your challenge to them. See what they say to what you have at the moment at your companies in terms of innovation challenges.
Right, I'm going to send our room of ambassadors on their break now. Can we have a round of applause for our panel, please?